Everybody, my name's Dave Bodie and welcome to the live stream in the studio. I'm here live with my son Lincoln. Say hey, Link.
Hello everybody.
You gotta do that a little more on mic.
Okay.
He's doing awesome. And we are going to be tackling some Sugru repairs. Is the overhead cam working? Can we get a shot of this?
Oh yes.
Sugru. I think it's G4 on the keyboard. There you go. Look at that. We got it worked out there. Awesome. So we're going to be using some Sugru here, and yeah, cut back to the front camera. There you go. This is moldable glue. It's really good for a lot of different repairs. And this is the first time that I've used Sugru when it hasn't been gross. You see, Sugru has a short shelf life of around a year, and after that, it kind of breaks down. This is kind of an epoxy sort of product where you kind of mold it together, then it gets sticky, then you can kind of stick it on stuff, and it remains a little bit bendy, flexible after that. So that's what we're gonna do. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Cool. You ready, Lincoln?
Yeah.
Awesome. You can cut back to that front cam there. Mostly you can be on this front cam, so we'll hang out here, and then if you do cut to that overhead cam, we'll just be on it for just maybe like 5-10 seconds. Cool?
Yeah.
All right, say hi to the fans, Link.
Hello.
Can you let folks know how many people are subscribed?
Currently.
Well, how many? What's the percentage?
It's 98% that are not subscribed.
So, folks, we really need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to build up a little home brew studio action here. But let's get into it. Why would you use this product right here, this Sugru? By the way, this is not a sponsored video at all. Why would you use this Sugru? Well, it's really great for fixing electronicals or other different products. You can look up all kinds of different projects for Sugru. But recently, I had this guy right here. This is a MacBook Air charger. And like on so many Mac products, the cable coming out of the charger here basically broke. The strain reliefs, you can see on this one right here. I don't know, can you see that in the camera? Yeah? The strain relief is this bit right here. So that's the part that comes out of the device. And you can see as I pull on this, it's basically not doing its job, because what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to bend to relieve the strain on the cable and make this so that when this bends, it makes a nice kind of gradual arc, but it doesn't. On all Apple products, when you pull this cable, this strain relief basically doesn't move. And so what happens is the bend right here is too sharp. And when you bend the cable too sharply, you exceed the minimum bending radius, the little tiny wires on the inside get flexed too much, and then they break. And once that happens, well, most folks throw the charger away or the device away or the cable away or whatever, and then just buy a new one. That's not how I roll. In this house, we take stuff apart, and since it's already broken, I mean, what are you gonna lose? So that's what I did here. I cracked this puppy apart, and I cut out the old strain relief, and I resoldered these wires, and now it works. It's been tested, it works great. The problem is that I need to make a new strain relief here, so that's what I'm going to use Sugru for. The second thing that I'm going to do is recently I took this microphone here. This is a very classic, very popular, it's probably one of the most popular microphones in the world. It's a Shure SM58. And this is the switched model here. The switch used to be under this piece of masking tape here. And the switch is sort of annoying. This was an old mic that my wife had about we've been married 20 years ago, so probably 25 years ago. And she had it with her band. And I decided the other day that I want to take the switch out because it just keeps getting in the way and it keeps switching off, and I never use it that way. So I'm going to use Sugru to repair this hole. I don't know if you can see that here. Let me see the camera. Can we focus in on that camera guy? Camera guy.
You have no camera guy.
I know. Well, if there was a camera guy up here, he'd be focusing on this. There's a hole in there, and you know, I just don't want to leave that there for little folks to put their little fingers in. So let's get to it. First, I'm going to pop this open. By the way, safety first around here. I got some gloves. I got my safety squints on. Let's tear into this stuff. This is a 3-pack. It costs $7 on the Amazon. You can get it in larger quantities for a good price, and it's 3 colors, so that I don't have to. Oh, there we go. I have gray, black, and white, so I can match. You know, it's very important for Apple stuff. You have to have the right color. You know, if I did like, well, I already messed it up, but you know, if I did a gray on here, that would definitely not go. So
I just noticed that my microphone had been muted the whole time.
oh, all right. Well, say hey, Link, one more time.
That's not the right button. Hello from hi.
Lincoln's over there in Command Central. He's managing camera switching. He's managing audio levels. He's managing viewer comments. Do we have anyone who's chatted or is even watching the live stream right now?
We have one concurrent viewer.
Okay, that's probably you. Can you see Facebook? We have anybody on Facebook saying hey?
No one.
Are we definitely live on Facebook?
We are definitely live. It
All right.
says
Well, people will file in. You know, I'm not worried about it.
it's been 7 minutes.
Okay, look, this is the way it goes. We're growing the channel here. It's all right, you know. It's a Saturday. I don't expect. It's a nice day too here in Western New York. Who packaged these? This is booby trapped. I mean, 2 gloves I needed, and it just took out 50. That's okay. These are vinyl. Some folks are allergic to latex. Yeah, not as stretchy. So, how does this stuff work? Well, we crack this open. It's kind of a 2-part putty. But first, what I want to do is do a little surface preparation here on this charger here. This is very smooth plastic. And sometimes when you're trying to glue stuff to something that's very smooth, it just doesn't want to stick, especially with epoxy type stuff. You want to get a good chemical bond, you want to get a good mechanical bond. So to increase the surface area, I have a little bit of sandpaper. Don't worry, I'm not going to sand the microphone. I'm just going to sand this plastic here. And I'm going to roughen up the surface area right around this. This is 80 grit sandpaper because I really want this to stick. I have used expired Sugru before, and it does work. It is just kind of gross to work with because it gets really crumbly. But if you work it together enough and you can deal with the mess that it makes, it does work. In fact, I think the only other thing that I've ever repaired with Sugru is the AC input for this DC power supply here. All right, so you're not going to be able to see that there, I don't think, with the overhead cam, but it is roughened up. We don't have a lot of dynamic range on this camera here, but I did roughen up the surface there. It's probably got a little oil on it, but I'm not so concerned with that. I'm going to tear this open here and we're going to get to it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got any questions in chat?
No, but we now have 2 viewers on Facebook.
Excellent. 2 viewers on Facebook. Well, if you have any questions, like why is my hand strength so terrible, please post them in the chat, and I'll be sure to come up with a really good story. So here we go. Here's what we're dealing with. All right? Cool?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take this out, and you know, I probably should have read the instructions, but let's just I'm going to go real quick. It says, stick it, mold it, set strong. Yeah, that's pretty much all we need to know. We have like 6 languages here. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna work it around to make sure it's all incorporated. I believe this probably does some kind of chemical reaction when it's exposed to oxygen, or I don't really know exactly how it works.
Should I look it up?
Yeah, Lincoln, I'll come back to the front camera and then go ahead and look that up. How does Sugru work? We don't know. It's science. And we do appreciate science in this house. I actually thought there was a lot more in this Sugru container, so I roughened up quite a bit of this surface. And now, well, I'm gonna do my best. But basically what I wanna do is, I actually don't like the way that this sticks straight out in the original, so I'm gonna kind of flop it over, kind of like this, and just kind of mold it down. I may need to get some kind of like rubber band or something to kind of hold it in place, but I'm just gonna kind of mash it in here.
Yeah, it does work on the. It does work with exposure to air.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sometimes these putties, these epoxy putties, are like a two-part situation where there's kind of an A and a B, and you mix them together, and that is what triggers the chemical reaction for this to start curing. This takes about 24 hours, it says, to cure on the packaging. Actually, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna kind of smooth this out here. Now, I have seen a few videos of this, and I think if you get your finger wet, it does smooth out really nicely. And you can use this stuff in like the shower to make little hooks to hold your doodads and your thingama whatever's on. So I'm just gonna use a little wet finger here and just kind of smooth this out and see if that works.
I have viewers on Facebook.
What?
We've lost our viewers on Facebook.
That's okay. You know, it's a Saturday, people are coming and going. We should really get outside. We spent a couple hours here setting this live stream up. And I do want to smooth this out a little bit because I have imprinted my fingerprint in here. Oh yeah, that is smoothing out quite nicely.
Hold that up to the Nexus, please.
It's pretty overexposed. Can you jump on the in the settings there and just knock down the exposure a little bit? Maybe just turn on the brightness just a smidge or 5. Did you? Go to, it's in the web page.
It's in the web page?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then, okay, I see.
It's got the remote controls for the thing. Yeah, there you go, okay. So can you see it now? Is it more clear? Is it still kind of blown out?
That's clear.
Cool.
It's pretty smoothed out.
It is pretty smoothed out, and it's cool stuff. I bought an 8-pack of this like a couple years ago, and then I left it in the drawers of my electronics table. And when I took it out to use for the first time, it had a bad smell to it, and I thought, I wonder if this has a shelf life. And I looked it up as I was using it, and of course it did, and it was way past that. And then I ended up just throwing the rest of it away. But I think it was only like, I don't know, $13 or something for an 8-pack, or like 15 bucks or something like that. Really no big loss. All right, so that's what we have. It's not pretty. You see this in the front cam? Ooh, go to the super tight shot, front shot, here we go. There you go, look at that. It's not pretty, but I think it'll work. This will harden up really pretty nicely. It remains kind of flexible, but it does have a really good amount of strength. And I think I spread it out enough there to make it stick to that plastic. One thing I found in my many years of DIYing is getting stuff to stick to plastic is actually surprisingly difficult. When it comes to like glues, you know, super glue, if you've ever tried to repair something made out of plastic, it's not easy because the super glue just does not want to stick to some types of plastic. In fact, I think this says on the package, yeah, it does not bond to oily plastics like polypropylene, polyethylene, or Teflon. Now, I have no idea what the Apple charger is made out of. I could look it up, but I'm not going to because I'm just going to trust that it's going to make enough of a mechanical bond to work. Stay hydrated. My drink of choice is Propel Berry Flavor. Now it comes to the star of the show, the Shure SM58. I use this for podcasts, and it's a nice microphone. It's not the darling of the podcast scene or world. Yeah, hit me up with a little more brightness juice, if you would, because that's looking a shade dark. It's making my my arm hairs there look a little bit on the dark side. So I'm not gonna bother roughening up the surface. I'm just gonna get to it here. So we're gonna go with the black. Oh, look at that. I opened the last package the wrong way. That's why it took so much hand strength to open up. Let's see. And I'm making kind of a mess here. You know, as this channel grows and we do more live streams, I'm gonna have to get an assistant in here to help me with this. But the vibe that I'm going for is like kind of unbox therapy. Let's kick it over to Lincoln for a traffic report. What do you got on the I-5?
0 viewers.
That's all right. Sometimes it's a field of dreams sort of thing. You have to build it, and then they come. If you build it, they will come. You know, that sort of thing. That's what we're going for here. But mostly, I think it's fun to do live streams with your kids, and I happen to have a studio here, so you know it's all right. Yeah, Lincoln, you got any other updates there? Lincoln has a gaming date with his buddies. They're doing, what are you doing, a Warcraft raid, is it?
As Parker called it, an epic gamer night.
An epic gamer night. Minecraft, right?
Probably.
Yeah?
Maybe Showdown.
Okay. All right. All right, I got this all mangled up here. I probably really didn't have to mush this together. I just feel like I should. I don't know why, but I feel like I should. So I don't want to get too much in this hole here. I'm just going to try and fill this gap up. And I know someone is going to see this and they're going to go, what manner of terrible thing have you done to that perfectly good microphone? But that's okay. I'm going to make it my own microphone. I like to take a lot of stuff apart around here for no good reason. Just to see how it works. In fact, I had a microphone set just today, and it had a weird resonance in it. I tested it out against this SM58. It was a drum mic, and it sounds remarkably similar. So it's a decent sounding mic. However, if you tap on the microphone, it made a terrible resonance. So I took the microphone completely apart to find out if it was something that I could even consider repairing. I thought it had to do with the mic body itself, the metal casting or something, but it actually wasn't. It was the mic capsule itself, because I took everything else out and then I resoldered the microphone element to the XLR connector without the body, and I just plugged that in and gave it a listen, and it still rang. So it was definitely the plastic capsule itself had a pretty nasty resonance in it. But that's okay, because that's now on Craigslist. So if you're looking for some drum microphones, check them out on Craigslist. It's the Audio-Technica kit pack, and we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. So how'd I do right here? I appreciate you cutting that tight cam right at the right time. How's that look?
Amazing.
Yes, this looks like a pro quality microphone repair job, doesn't it? It barely looks like someone sneezed on it, or it got dripped on by some chemicals. It's okay. We'll just keep chatting, and I'm just going to smooth this out. All right? Sounds like a good deal. I do believe tonight is date night here in the Bodie house, and me and the missus may be going out on the town, as it were. And when we go out, we get real fancy. We like to eat at the food court at the mall. Sometimes we like to eat at Wendy's. That's a favorite of my wife's. I like to keep it simple. I do like pizza, sometimes from Wegmans. Or where did we go last time that was like pretty decent? Rachel found a place. I don't remember. We have been to Lone Star Steakhouse. That was pretty good. Actually, the steak was really good. I'd get Rachel in here to tell you about it, but I have a better chance of doing something that's very unlikely, because there's just no way. All right. Link, do we have any comments in the chat?
Yes.
All right, give it to me right away.
Oh, I'm watching by Timothy Harris.
Oh, Tim Harris. Hey, what's up? Well, he might think this is quite interesting, me modifying this perfectly good microphone. You know, maybe Tim would know, but I'm pretty sure there is a sonic difference between the regular Shure SM58 and the switched version. Now, physically, they don't really look any different other than the switch. The only thing that I can think of is maybe the switched version has a different transformer inside to account for the space of the switch. I mean, I wouldn't think so, but I do recall back when I had a regular SM58 that I tested them, and they did sound a little different. And they're not really damaged all that much. I know if you damage the capsule, that you can maybe get the mylar to ripple or something, and then you can change the sonic characteristic of the microphone. But I'm thinking that's probably not it. I'm thinking it's maybe a different transformer or something like that. The switch was really simple. It just cut off one leg of the wire going into the transformer. So nothing really special there. And oddly, the switch actually had a tiny little magnet in it, I think, to hold it in the on position, maybe. I thought that was kind of interesting. And I do like magnets. They're really good for projects. I don't think most folks know that you can buy extraordinarily powerful magnets online, like extremely dangerous.
Like these?
No, well, they are like those. They're neodymium magnets, but you can get kind of industrial grade neodymium magnets online. I think there's a site, I can't remember what it's called, but I think it had atomic or nuclear, had nuclear in the name, and you can buy some absolutely absurdly powerful magnets. I mean, like really big neodymium ones, such that if you got your hand, they have all kinds of warnings on the site about people getting their hands completely crushed, like all the bones broken in their hands and stuff like that, and kind of horror stories, because the big neodymium magnets are extremely dangerous, especially if you have more than one, because they can fly together from feet apart because their pull strength and their magnetic field is so big. So they really are quite dangerous. And when they do snap together, they shatter. And getting bits of powerful magnet out of your body when you go to the ER is not something that you want to have happen, because they may use, you know, metal tools, and that just could be a pretty big problem. How are we looking here, Link? What's our stream length?
23 minutes.
Wow. I've been just talking about nonsense for 23 minutes. So this is kind of the consistency of gum or Play-Doh. You want to check this out at all? Or are you good? Talking to you.
What do you mean check it out?
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You got anything else we can repair really quick with the gray kind?
These scissors that are perfectly fine.
You know, we're gonna leave the perfectly fine scissors. We're gonna leave those alone. Maybe I can take this packaging here and just use that to smooth this out a little bit.
Don't you have a control for the lights in the back?
Yeah, well, I have an on-off for those, but right now they're not being controlled with DMX or anything.
Oh, by the way, our one concurrent viewer on YouTube, who, at the time of saying this, instantly hopped off, is not us.
Oh, okay. That's all right. We're going to wrap this up here in just a minute. I mean, this is more just kind of goofing around with the technical setup rather than creating some really engaging content. Lincoln and I like to do game streams every once in a while. Maybe last month we did a Battlefield 4 stream where we did the Megalodon Easter egg in Paracel Storm, which is a map in Battlefield 4. And that was pretty cool. And we got a couple of views on that. That was fun. All right. I think that's just about as good as I can get it. Yeah, I could have spent a little more time and maybe got that to look a little smoother. It does look like I gobbed some gum and then painted it on there. The color match is really quite good, so I am really pleased about that. But look, if you have any questions about how this turned out, we may do a follow-up stream in a couple of days, or I don't know, maybe tomorrow, but it's unlikely. But leave your comments and questions in the chat. Let me know what other kind of stuff you'd like to see on the channel for repairs and DIY sort of stuff. And well, I think that's about it for myself, for Lincoln over there at Command Central. Lincoln, you got any parting thoughts for us?
No, I don't.
Well said. All right, thanks everybody for watching. My name is Dave Bodie for Bodie Media here at Bodie Media headquarters in Penfield, New York. And I'll see you next time.
How do I turn it off?
All right, so in Caster, you can just you can toggle off.